The One Piece world has an incredibly unique power system with devil fruits and haki, but we can't sleep on the weapons. How's it going, everybody? It's Zach, welcome back, and today I want to talk about the most powerful weapons in One Piece, what makes them so great, and how they're gonna impact the story. Of course, we gotta talk about the ancient weapons and discuss some theories surrounding them. Also, we have to talk about the Supreme Grade Blades, especially the one that was recently confirmed. And on top of that, all the great inventions from the genius scientists in One Piece, especially one invention that might be the strongest weapon in the world. And we're gonna break all that down, but first we gotta talk about the King Pirates crew, which is now over 36,000 members. If you're new to the crew, say hi in the comments and let me know who your favorite One Piece character is. And if you're not yet part of the crew and want to keep up with our One Piece conversations that we have pretty much every other day, hit that subscribe button and join us on the adventure. Let's start off with the ancient weapons, which are perhaps the most powerful weapons in the story. These weapons have been around since ancient times. They have the power to absolutely devastate the world. They're named after three Greek gods, Uranus, Poseidon, and Pluton, and as of right now, they're kind of a taboo. The world government uses them as a reason they erase the history from the Void Century. Essentially, their reasoning is that era was so dangerous, the ancient weapons were created during then, and that's why they had to erase an entire century of history. But honestly, it really hasn't helped that much. Everybody and their mamas are still going after the ancient weapons. Warlords, Yonkos, Caribous, there are no exceptions. But luckily, so far as we know, nobody actually has control of an ancient weapon, and based off of what we know, the only people that should know about ancient weapons are Robin, Neptune, and of course Caribou. Now with the ancient weapons themselves, the first one we found out about in the story was Pluton. That was the one Crocodile was going after in Alabasta with the help of Robin, and eventually in Water 7 we discovered that Pluton was a battleship. And also this battleship had blueprints that were passed down through the great shipwrights of Water 7 before it got into the hands of Frankie. Now although we haven't seen Pluton itself, it's definitely a devastating weapon because every single shipwright that has seen the blueprints of Pluton have had this like absolutely shocked reaction. So based off of that alone, it kind of goes to show how devastating these weapons could be. But what really showcases the power of these weapons is the other ancient weapon, Poseidon, that we actually know. Poseidon, of course, is Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess that has inherited the powers of the ancient weapon. She has the ability to command Sea Kings, which I feel like is actually kind of underrated. Like we saw in the story how big those Sea Kings are, but the measurement of them are astronomical. Each individual Sea King is supposed to be 5 kilometers long. That's legit like the length of a race. People run that and feel accomplished, but it's just the size of one Sea King. So once again, that just goes to show the powers of these ancient weapons are no joke. Now what's even more interesting is the fact that Poseidon is an actual person. Usually when you're thinking about a weapon, it's more of an object, not an actual living creature. Low-key, all these people going after Shirahoshi is kind of objectifying her.
She's not just an ancient weapon, okay? She's a living person.
Poor Shirahoshi has to deal with being a fisherman and also a weapon. But anyways, back to the idea that the ancient weapons could be actually living people. I think it's very possible the other ancient weapons could also be that. Of course, as of right now, we have no idea what Uranus is. We only know it might have something to do with the sky just because of the Greek inspiration. A long time ago, I had theorized the possibility that maybe there are more dragons that we don't see out there. So maybe Uranus is somebody that can command the dragons and could devastate people that way, but that's more of a fun headcanon theory. The theory I lean towards now is the idea that all three ancient weapons are actual people. Now I already know some of you are commenting, how can a person be a boat? It's not that idea, okay? It's more complicated than that. I did an entire video explaining my thoughts on that, on how Momonosuke and Vivi can also be involved, so go check that out if you're interested. But whether or not the ancient weapons are real people or just actual weapons, there's no doubt that they're gonna play a major role in the end of the story. There's been a lot of hype surrounding the devastating powers of these weapons. We have to at least see one of them in action. One of the most popular theories is that the ancient weapons will be used to destroy the Red Line. That way all the seas are united, you get the all blue, and everybody's having a good time. Which, by the way, if you're having a good time watching this video, drop a like for the YouTube algorithm. But at the end of the day, the ancient weapons are definitely gonna play a major role in the final battle. But moving on from that, we gotta talk about the Supreme Grade Blades. There's a lot of different types of swords in One Piece. You got the classic katana, you got cat fingers, but when it comes down to it, the Supreme Grade Blades are the highest quality swords in the story. They are the very best of the Mado swords. Even the Nidai Katetsu, Shusui, Wado Ichimonji, Enma, none of them are Supreme Grade Blades. As a matter of fact, right now there are only 12 Supreme Grade Blades in the entire world, and we actually only know 4 of them. There's Whitebeard's Naginata, which is ironically not even a sword. There's also Mihawk's Yoru, which is one of the only black blades we know in the story. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Also, there's the Shodai Katetsu, the strongest of the Katetsu blades, and just most recently in the new Viver cards, we found out that Roger's sword Ace is also a Supreme Grade blade. Beyond those 4 swords though, we have have no idea what the other 8 Supreme Grade blades are, but I think eventually Oda should reveal all of them, and all of them should relate back to Zoro because he is a swordsman. Well, technically not all of them have to, like Whitebeard's Naginata and Roger's sword, they're both kind of out of action right now because both those guys are dead. And I'm sure there's gonna be a couple other swords as well that belong to retired people, like maybe Rayleigh has one, but still I expect the majority of those swords to belong to people that Zoro will fight. Like Yoru already belongs to Mihawk, who will definitely fight Zoro eventually. The Shodai Kotetsu, even though it's not confirmed, most likely belongs to Gorosei Gandhi. Essentially all the design on that sword follows the patterns of the Kitetsu blades. So in the future when the Straw Hats are going up against the world government, I can totally see Zoro fighting against Gorosei Gandhi. Now as far as the other Supreme Grade blades go, I also made a video predicting who might have one, but the ones I'm most confident in are Shanks and Shiryu. Shanks' sword is called Griffin. We currently don't know what the grade of that blade is, but because Shanks is a Yonko and he's so strong and he used to duel with Mihawk, I fully believe that his sword is a Supreme Grade blade. Shiryu is another person whose sword we know, it's called Ryu. It's also confirmed to be a Meito sword, but we don't know what grade it is. Besides those two, there's not really anybody else I'm confident enough to say has a Supreme Grade blade, but I definitely see more opponents popping up in the future that will have Supreme Grade swords. Now the other thing to consider when it comes to swords are black blades. We recently got some information on this through Hitetsu, and it seems like that through battles you can even upgrade the quality of your sword just by turning it into a black blade. Now personally I think the process of turning a sword into a black blade most likely relates to Haki. With armament Haki, blades do turn temporarily black, so I feel like that's gotta be connected in some way. And by the end of the story I do think Zoro will have 3 Supreme Grade black swords, which I also discussed in another video if you're interested. But finally, when it comes down to weapons, we have to talk about science because that's what develops great weapons. Especially recently in the story, it's becoming much more of a stronger factor. Actually, the first time the Straw Hats got decimated at Sabaody was because of science. Vegapunk had just developed the Pacifistas, which pulled up and just decimated everybody. Now, of course, nowadays the Pacifistas don't really stack up at all to the strongest people, but it does show how strong science could be, especially as more things develop. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Straw Hats rely on scientists to improve their power. Franky is of course the obvious one with his cyborg body and all his creations, and honestly I think Franky is probably one of the more underrated scientists in the story, mostly because his official title is a shipwright, but he's created some pretty powerful things. Like if you had to rank Franky, would he rank top 5 within the best scientists in the world? Honestly I'd say yes. We're gonna talk about these guys in a little bit, but we got Vegapunk, Judge, Queen, Caesar, and Lindbergh. I feel like Franky could edge one of them out, because seriously, look at Franky's resume. He's got the General Franky, which is incredibly powerful. It's super sturdy, made out of Wapple metal, has that powerful cannon as well. The Thousand Sun, he also has incredible technology with the Kude burst and the cannon. There's also of course Franky himself, who is very strong, and perhaps his greatest invention, the Franky Centaur form. I don't know if I'm the only one hoping for that form to come back new and improved, but I'm still holding on tight. But yeah, honestly, Franky has developed some of the strongest weapons in the story, and I think by the time One Piece ends, Franky will have developed some of the most game-changing things in the story. Because for Franky, he doesn't really have a limit. He just has to keep improving with science and knowledge. Some of the other Straw Hats improve in the same way, but the one I'm really excited for is Sanji. Like, you got Usopp with his Pop Greens, which are pretty strong, but they're not that strong. Nami's Clima-Tact is pretty interesting. It also uses dial technology, just like Usopp does. Zeus is with Nami now as well, and I definitely see Usopp and Nami getting stronger. But as far as weapons go, I don't see either of their weapons stacking up to Sanji's raid suit. Because the thing is, with the raid suit, it was actually developed by a genius scientist in Vinsmoke Judge. He of course created raid suits for all of his children who are already genetically manipulated, so his kids are already pretty damn strong, but the raid suits are what really take them to the next level. When they were betrayed by Big Mom, they were fully ready to take the L, but after they were saved by Sanji and got their hands on their raid suits, they could stack up to some of the strongest Big Mom pirates. These raid suits give them extra protection, allow them to fly, makes them faster. There's also a bunch of other benefits like laser beams and poison and invisibility. So already the raid suits are some top tier technology that can only get better. I'm actually super excited to see what Usopp and Franky could do to Sanji's raid suits, not only to add in some different technology and make it stronger, but also to kind of change up the appearance. Don't get me wrong, it looks cool and all, but like the sunglasses and the mask, it doesn't really fit Sanji. If they could kind of change it to look like an actual suit, it would be perfectly fitting for Sanji. But yeah, the raid suit was one of the many great things that Judge developed, but besides Judge, there's still some other great scientists that developed some devastating weapons. Caesar Clown, as goofy as he is, has created some of the most devastating gas weapons. We have the H2S, which made up the monster that was the Smiley. That thing essentially devastated Punk Hazard twice. And also there's the Koro gas that Jack used against the Minx, which gave him the upper hand. That one weapon completely changed the the ties of the battle, showing how powerful it is. And Caesar's not the only one using chemical weapons. We had Queen using the mummy bullets back in Udon, and not to spoil anything for anime onlys, but I'm sure he has more up his back. But when it comes to the strength of people, recently weapons have become very important. It's like every new arc we meet a scientist that has created a devastating weapon, and the scariest part about this is that Vegapunk is supposed to be head and shoulders above all of them. And of course, recently he created the SSG, which is so powerful that they got rid of the warlord system. So once again, that goes to prove that science could really elevate your strength. When it comes to some of these bigger battles later, it's not gonna come down to just devil fruits and haki. I'm fully expecting the SSG to be one of the strongest things in the story. Now, as to exactly what it is, there's a bunch of different theories. Maybe it has to do with the lineage factor and devil fruits. It could tie in with the pacifistas, maybe the raid suits as well. That's the thing, Vegapunk has worked with all of these people and he's smarter than all of them. And although so far he seems like a good person, he's still working for the world government, who probably want him to develop some terrible weapons. So I think moving forward in the story, we can definitely expect more and more strong scientific development, because science as a source of power has been a pretty common theme within One Piece. But I think when we talk about the strongest weapon in the One Piece world, there's really only two options, and that is Luffy's sandals and the buggy balls. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Over here I talked about whether or not the Straw Hat crew would disband, so check that out. Check out my links in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.